All right, in 6.9b, we're going to continue with the area of the shaded region, and we're going to go through some more examples of how to find the area in simplest form. So if we look at number 1, remember the area of the shaded region is the area of the whole thing minus the area of the whole. So if we look first for the area of our whole big shape, that would be this 2 plus x and x times 3. So we would write it as 3x times x plus 2. That's the area of our whole shape. Now for the area of the hole in the center, that would be x times 2x. So we're going to subtract x, 2x times x. So that's our general equation, but it wants it in simplest form. So now we need to distribute our 3x into the parentheses here. So we're going to have 3x squared, remember x times x is x squared, plus 3 times 2 is 6x. Then here we've got 2x times x. X times x is x squared, so it will be minus 2x squared. Now our final step here, we can combine any like terms. So we've got 3x squared minus a 2x squared. That gives us just a 1x squared. And we still have plus 6x. So this is our answer of the area of the shaded region in simplest form. Okay, let's look at number 2. We're going to start with the area of the whole shape. So that would be x times this whole length here. Now it doesn't give us a number for that whole length, but it gives us the two pieces. Here we have 2x and we have x. So this whole thing is going to just be 2x plus x. We add those two together to get our whole side. So if I want the area of my whole shape, that's going to be x times 2x plus x. Then I'm going to subtract the area of my whole, which that's going to be just my x here and my 3. So 3 times x. Now I'm going to get this equation in simplest form so I can distribute my x into my parentheses. I've got 2x times x is 2x squared. And then x times x gives me x squared. Then finally, at the end, I can't simplify the end piece yet, so that stays 3x at the end. Now I can combine these two terms, 2x squared plus x squared. That gives me 3x squared. Remember, if we're adding like terms together, that just changes our coefficient, does not change my exponent. And I still have minus 3x at the end. And this is my answer in simplest form. Okay, let's look at number 3. I'm going to start with the area of the whole shape. So that would be my whole big square or rectangle. And the length is x plus 2 and my width is 4x. So length times width gives me 4x times x plus 2. Then I need to subtract the area of my whole. And my whole this time is a triangle, it's not a rectangle. So to find the area of a triangle, our equation for that is 1/2 base times height. So when I plug these in, I'm going to have 1/2. My base is x, and my height is x plus 1. Now I'm ready to simplify. I can distribute into my parentheses. So in my first piece, I've got 4x times x and 4x times 2. 4x times x gives me 4x squared. X times x is x squared. And then 4x times 2, well, 4 times 2 is 8. And I've got just x to the first at the end. Now I'm going to distribute this 1/2 x into my parentheses. And now don't forget about this negative sign out here. It's a negative 1/2 x. So if I have negative 1/2 x times x, negative 1/2 stays the same. X times x is x squared. And now for my last piece, I've got a negative 1/2 x times 1. Well, anything times 1 is just going to be itself, so it's going to be negative 1/2 x. Now I'm ready to combine like terms, so I've got an x squared term here and here. 4x squared minus 1/2 x squared. If I type that into my calculator, 4 minus 1/2, I'm going to get 3.5 x squared. And then I can combine my x terms. That'd be 8x minus 1/2 x, which gives me plus 7.5 x. And that is my final answer. I can't combine anything else. Okay, we've got one more example over here. Let's look at our first shape. Our whole big shape is a rectangle again, so I've got length times width, and my length is 5x plus 5, my width is 4x, so I can multiply those two pieces together. Then I've got my hole in the middle. My hole is a rectangle again, so I'm going to subtract my length times width of that hole. So that would be x times 2x plus 1. Now I'm ready to simplify. So I can distribute into my parentheses. I've got 4x times 5x. Well, 4 times 5 is 20. X times x is x squared. 4x times 5. 4 times 5 is 20 again. And this time I only have 1x. Now I'm going to distribute my x. But again, remember it's a negative x, so that negative goes with my x. I've got a negative x times 2x, which is minus 2x squared, and a negative x times 1, which is just minus x. Again, I can combine all my like terms, so I've got 20x squared minus 2x squared. That gives me 18x squared. And then I've got 20x minus x, which is plus 19x. And that's my final answer.